We start by meeting Jaime Reyes, who's just gotten back from abroad. He was living and studying there, and now that he's graduated from college, he's finally seeing his family again. They're having a reunion after years apart, and Jaime's overjoyed to be with them again. But that joy doesn't last long. He's shocked to find out that his family is on the verge of losing their home. The shop they used to run closed down, and with all the bills piling up, especially after Jaime's dad suffered a near-fatal heart attack, they had no choice but to start selling off their belongings. Now they're completely broke, barely holding on, financially devastated. Jaime wants to help. He needs to help. So he hits the streets and starts looking for a job, but no one's hiring, not even a fresh college grad like him. That's when his sister Milagro steps in. She pulls some strings and lands him a gig at her workplace. It's not glamorous, just a janitor job, but it's something. And the place? A massive mansion owned by none other than Victoria Cord, CEO of Cord Industries. One day while Jaime and Milagro are on duty at the mansion, Victoria returns. But she's not alone. She's got her niece with her, Jenny Cord. That same day, there's a big announcement from Cord Industries. They're unveiling a new project, OMAC, a high-tech weaponized supersuit with insane capabilities. Victoria's plan? Sell it to the military. But Jenny, she's not having it. She tells her aunt straight up that the project should have stayed buried. It was shut down years ago by her father, Ted Cord, the former CEO of the company. Jenny confronts Victoria, begging her to cancel the OMAC project, but Victoria shuts her down hard. "Don't forget your place," she snaps. "You only have a role in this company because of your father." Then she leans in with a threat, telling Jenny to stay out of her way, or else. Things start to heat up. Victoria's bodyguard, Carapax, is about to get physical with Jenny, but Jaime hears everything, and he's not about to let it slide. He steps in, standing up for Jenny, even though it's got nothing to do with him. Victoria doesn't take it lightly. She fires him and Milagro on the spot, both of them gone, just like that. Outside the mansion, Jenny catches up with them. She's clearly upset and apologizes for what happened. Then she hands Jaime her phone number. She promises to help, says she'll find him another job, something better. Later that night, Jaime's torn. He's not sure if he should call Jenny or just forget the whole thing. He doesn't want to come off as desperate, but his father sits him down, tells him it's okay to accept help, especially from someone who believes in him. Jaime listens, and finally he makes the call. The next day, Jaime's entire family takes him to Cord Industries. He's embarrassed, and they're being loud, overly enthusiastic, cheering and shouting encouragement like it's a championship game. Meanwhile, Jenny Cord is on her own mission. She sneaks into a restricted room inside the company and steals an ancient Scarab. She hides it inside a fast food takeout box. This isn't just any relic. The Scarab is a highly valuable artifact and a key component in Victoria Cord's OMAC project. Jaime spots Jenny and rushes over to her. At that exact moment, the alarm blares throughout the building. The Scarab has been flagged as missing. Jenny quickly shoves the box into Jaime's hands and tells him, "Hide this, and whatever you do, don't open it." When Jaime gets home, he explains everything to his family, but instead of freaking out, they get curious. Too curious. They start pressuring him to open the box. Milagro doesn't wait. She opens it herself, and inside, the Scarab. Everyone starts tossing it around, joking and playing with it. Jaime gets frustrated. He grabs it from them, ready to shut this down. But the moment he touches it, the Scarab glows, and suddenly it leaps onto his face. Panic. The whole family freaks out. Rudy tries to pull it off, but the Scarab lets out a massive surge of electricity, blasting Rudy across the room and electrifying the entire house. Then it gets worse. The Scarab fuses into Jaime's body. He starts screaming as his body begins to twist, shift, and change. His skin is overtaken by metal, and in seconds, a blue armored suit wraps around him. Suddenly, Jaime hears a voice, a woman's voice, inside the suit. It's the Scarab's AI, Kajidar. To show him what the suit can do, Kajidar launches him into the sky. Jaime actually flies, right out of Earth's atmosphere. He looks down from orbit, stunned, before plummeting back toward Earth at terrifying speed. Just before he hits the water, wings extend from his back, saving him. The suit takes control, flying him across the sky, and then he crash lands on a car. Before he can catch his breath, a bus comes speeding toward him, and the suit activates a shield. The shield slices the bus clean in half. Jaime takes off again, this time unintentionally, and after a chaotic flight, he finally makes it home. He crash lands right in front of his family, completely naked. Then he collapses. When he wakes up, he scrambles to get dressed, and panics when he sees it. The blue Scarab is still embedded in his back. Jaime wants answers. He needs to find Jenny, now. But Rudy warns him. Cord Industries is probably connected to law enforcement. If they find out Jaime has a military-grade weapon inside his body, the entire family could be in serious danger. His mum tries to stop him. She tells him he's not leaving the house. But while everyone's arguing, Jaime sneaks out, determined to find Jenny Cord, hoping she might know how to get the Scarab out of him. He spots her just in time. She's on the run, escaping from Cord Industries, and she jumps into his car without hesitation. Together they speed off, fleeing from Victoria's men. Jaime takes Jenny back to his house, but Rudy is not thrilled about bringing a stranger into their home. Jenny brushes right past him and goes straight to the point. "Where's the Scarab?" she asks. And when she sees it already embedded in Jaime's back, she's stunned. She explains the truth. The Scarab is more than just an ancient artifact. It's a dangerous and powerful weapon. Her father, Ted Cord, discovered it years ago. But this, the Scarab choosing someone, bonding like this, that was never supposed to happen. Jenny admits she doesn't know how to remove it, but there's a chance her father's secret hideout might have the answers. Only problem, to access it, they'll need a special key, a watch that's still locked away inside Cord Industries. Later that night, Rudy drives them to the company. Jaime and Jenny sneak inside, searching for Ted Cord's watch, the key to the hidden lab. Just when they're about to escape, they run into Carapax, Victoria's personal enforcer. He charges straight at Jaime, fists ready, and that's when the Scarab activates the suit. Jaime suits up. The fight is on, but Carapax isn't just muscle. He's wearing a prototype of the OMAC suit, making him deadly. Jenny rushes back to the car where Rudy's waiting. Meanwhile, Jaime's struggling. He's still new to the suit, still learning, and Carapax is ruthless. Just when it seems like Jaime's done for, Rudy slams the car into Carapax, knocking him away. Jaime jumps in, and they speed off into the night, heading for Ted Cord's secret hideout. They arrive at Ted's old mansion. Jenny takes out the watch and uses it to unlock a hidden entrance, leading them into an underground lab. Inside, they discover the truth. Ted wasn't just a scientist. He was once a superhero, known as the Blue Beetle. Rudy looks around in awe. He turns to Jaime and says he wasn't Superman or the Flash, but Ted was a genius. While Rudy starts hacking into Ted's old computer, Jenny and Jaime head upstairs. Kaji Da, the Scarab's AI, gets to work, healing Jaime's injuries from the fight. Jenny opens up to him. She tells him that her dad dedicated his life to understanding the Scarab. Her mum, she was the one who inspired him to become a hero. But the Scarab, it never chose him. It never bonded. So instead, Ted built his own legacy. With his mind, his inventions, and his willpower, he became the Blue Beetle. After Jenny's mother passed away, her father, Ted Cord, disappeared shortly after, and no one has known his whereabouts since. Jenny tells Jaime she admires the close bond he has with his family. At the same time, she feels a bit envious because she always wished she had a family like his. After opening up emotionally, she leans in to kiss him, but they are interrupted by Rudy, who bursts in to tell them he successfully hacked into Ted's computer. Rudy says he found some information about the Scarab. Apparently, it had once bonded with someone before, a man named Dan Garrett, who was Ted's mentor. The Scarab left Dan only when he died. They learn that once the Scarab bonds with a host, it doesn't separate unless the host dies. It integrates with the person's brain and every cell in their body. The Scarab is designed to protect its host at all costs. Jaime is upset after hearing this. He realizes he might be stuck with the Scarab for the rest of his life. He refuses to talk to Jenny, blaming her for everything that's happened. Rudy sits down with him and tries to lift his spirits. He tells Jaime, maybe this is your destiny. Maybe you're meant to do something great because of the Scarab inside you. Jaime begins to accept that idea, but just then they spot a Victoria Cord aircraft flying overhead, heading toward Jaime's family home. Jaime tries to summon the suit, but it doesn't activate at first. Then he remembers Rudy's words, the Scarab protects its host. So Jaime leaps off the roof, and just in time, Kaji Da activates the suit, letting him fly. Jaime rushes back to his house to protect his family from Victoria's armed men. When Victoria sees that bullets have no effect on Jaime, she orders her men to fire on his family instead. Jaime uses his wings to shield them and takes down most of Victoria's guards. His family tries to flee, but one of the soldiers knocks Milagro to the ground. Her father, Alberto, runs to save her, but he's struck and falls hard, while Jaime is still fighting off the rest of the guards. He locks onto Carapax as his main target. Carapax prepares a specialized weapon to attack him. Meanwhile, Alberto suddenly suffers a heart attack and collapses. Jaime sees what's happening and tries to run to him, but Carapax hits him with a high-voltage weapon, knocking Jaime to the ground. Then, the Reyes family home explodes. Everyone rushes to gather around Alberto, devastated and in tears, as they try to help him. But it's clear that the damage has already been done. While Jaime was captured by Victoria's men, the ambulance arrived too late, and unfortunately, Alberto had already died. The next day, the family decides they must rescue Jaime no matter what. Jenny takes them to Ted Cord's mansion and puts them on Ted's old insect-themed aircraft, which they plan to use for the rescue mission. Jenny also lets them use her father's weapons and gadgets. They draw up their attack plan and head to a nearby island off the coast of Cuba, where Jaime is being held prisoner. On the island, Victoria's team is still working on developing more OMACs. When Jenny and Milagro sneak inside, they find a room full of OMAC units powered by the Scarab. Meanwhile, Victoria reveals her plan to create thousands of superpowered soldiers by transferring the Scarab's energy into the OMACs. This process will kill Jaime. Dr. Sanchez, the scientist behind the operation, disapproves of Victoria's plan, but she forces him to comply. Carapax activates the OMAC device, and Jaime screams as his energy is drained, feeding feeding Carapax's growing power. Jaime's heart nearly stops, but then he sees a vision of his father, embracing and encouraging him to accept his destiny and fight. At the same time, Jenny and Milagro find Jaime's room and plant explosives on the wall behind him. The wall explodes and Jaime is finally freed, but it's almost too late. Carapax, now supercharged with Scarab energy, Sanchez tries to help Jaime, but is killed by Carapax. Jaime runs away, not strong enough to fight because the Scarab's power has been drained. He sees his grandmother on the street, holding a weapon and taking down Victoria's men. Jaime and the family regroup and return to the aircraft, only to realize Jenny and Milagro are still inside the building. Jaime decides to go back for them. Jenny has lost consciousness after the explosion and is captured by Victoria's men. Milagro is being chased by Victoria's soldiers. Jaime, now recharged, arrives just in time to kill the men chasing Milagro and rescues his sister, holding her close. Jaime discovers that Jenny is missing and goes looking for her. Suddenly Carapax appears and attacks him, and the two get into a fierce battle. Jaime is losing badly. Just as Carapax is about to kill Jaime, Rudy arrives and throws rocks at Carapax. Carapax fires a missile at Rudy, and Jaime thinks Rudy is dead. This makes Jaime furious. He now wants revenge for his father and uncle. Gathering all his strength, Jaime attacks Carapax and starts to overpower him, beating him badly. Jaime is about to deliver a finishing blow, but Kageda stops him. Kageda reveals she can show Jaime Carapax's past because the Scarab was connected to Carapax too. Jaime sees that Carapax lost his mother as a child during a terrorist attack and grew up in a harsh environment. Victoria later took him and turned him into a test subject for the OMAC project. The painful life Carapax endured turned him into a hardened person. After learning his story, Jaime finds it hard to kill him and instead helps Carapax to stand up. Meanwhile, Jenny is on the plane with Victoria. Victoria reveals she has a copy of the Scarab's data and can restart the OMAC project from scratch. Jenny swallows a huge piece of gum, inflates it inside the plane, and kills the pilot. The plane crashes, but Jenny and Victoria survive thanks to the gum. Jenny destroys the device containing the Scarab data. Carapax arrives, and Victoria orders him to kill Jenny and Jaime. For the first time, Carapax disobeys her, turning against Victoria because she treated him like a test subject. He thanks Jaime for helping him remember who he really is, and lets Jaime and Jenny escape. Carapax activates his suit's self-destruct and pulls Victoria away to kill her. The suit explodes in the lab, destroying everything. Jaime returns to the ship and reunites with his family, Jenny and Rudy, who is still alive. They embrace and cry, grateful to have survived together. Jenny becomes the new CEO of Cord Industries. Jaime's family stands before their burnt home, mourning the death of Alberto. Jenny arrives to offer condolences, gives Rudy a new car, and tells them Cord Industries will rebuild their home. She leaves and heads back to her father's mansion. Jaime follows her and offers to fly her there. They confess their love for each other. Jaime takes her and flies off to Ted's lab. A message from Ted arrives, revealing he is still alive. And that's how we reach the end of the episode. For those who made it all the way to the end of the episode, please leave a comment so I know who liked it. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Bye bye!